Hosa. My name is Maria Aguilera, and I'm your host. And welcome to the first episode of Let's Talk About Hosa. So, this is our first episode, and I am a little bit sick, so I'm going to be sounding a little weird. But Logan could not join us. He had a little bit of family stuff going on. But let's go ahead and start. These are our first guests. So, if y'all want to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
My name is Avaneesh Choragudi, and I'm from Lambert. I'm the co-president of Lambert Hosa.
My name is Rachna Murugula, and I'm from Lambert also. I'm the other co-president of our house chapter.
So, I'm going to read my questions off my phone.
Mhm.
So I say we just start with like getting to know each other a little bit. So how's school going right now?
School, I mean, it's junior year, so it's gonna be like a ton of work. I mean, it's a lot of work, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. My brain is like in 50 different places all the time. But yeah, we're like, I guess we got hit the ground running this year, but definitely stressful, but fun.
Yeah, I feel like for here at Cockpit, I think our junior year is kind of easier than a lot of other schools. I know Lambert's really competitive and we're more in love with, especially with our academics, and we're more into like the sports type of school.
Yeah.
So we're not that competitive when it comes to academics, so it's very chill and it's more fun. So everyone's excited to be the junior year. But like I feel like I'm excited to be in my junior year this year.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of benefits to being in a school that's like more focused on like academics versus more focused on like sports. It really helps like shape you as an individual. So I feel like both sides are
Oh,
very
yeah, there's definitely benefits and downsides to both, but
Okay,
they're
so
both.
sorry, sorry.
Go ahead.
So hopping right into questions, what got y'all into Hosa? Like what started your journey in Hosa and how do you think it's like made you who you are right now?
So me personally, I started freshman year. When I Lambert's a huge school. It's like one of the biggest schools in our county. So I definitely, as a freshman, felt kind of lost, and like I wanted to find a group of people that I could like identify with, and maybe share the same interests as me. And so I was always going to interested in healthcare because that's where a lot of my family was. So I was like, okay, let's join HOSA, and I started applying for like leadership positions and like finding like a group of people that really like I was connecting with. And as an individual, it's really helped me with my leadership skills, definitely. Like with as my role this year as co-president, I'm definitely growing as a leader and as a person. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I actually got into HOSA in sixth grade when I was just like new to middle school. I was like so scared of what was happening. And the year before that, I just moved from like a really rural town in Michigan all the way to Georgia. So I was just like still acclimating to this like climate, which is like so much people, everyone's so interested, and everyone has already like their career set out for them. And HOSA was like an extremely interesting facet in which I could like focus on something and like learn how to like I learned how to tie a tie. I learned how to wear professional clothing. I learned how to study for like medical stuff like that. And then now I see a medical term and I like understand that because medical terminology, the competitive event that like attracted me towards HOSA and the one that I won in a couple of years, it like definitely helped me like learn more and taught me like how to study like that early on in that early age.
Yeah, I definitely think it's really cool that y'all like didn't join just because your friends were in it. Because I feel like a lot of people, that's what a lot of people do. Because that's me personally, that's what I did. I was in the club, I think, for 4 years. This is my fourth year, I think, this year. And I joined because my friends were in it and just really to be in a club. And I've been in a lot more clubs, but I've never been really active in any type of clubs. So when I started being an active in HOSA was I think last year. I went to my first ever like FLC, and I think it wasn't until SLC when I like hit me like right when we went into our opening session, like the energy that everybody
Mhm.
gives off and like all like the welcoming type of energy. I think that's where I was like, this is like the people I want to be with. Like this is like where this is my people. So I think that's one of the biggest thing that I think is cool that y'all didn't join just for your friends, but because like you actually saw the potential of the club.
Yeah, and your reason for joining is just as valid because the energy that hosts of people bring is definitely really, really contagious.
I mean,
Yeah.
like people also do join for friends, and it's more about the benefits you get from the club versus like why you join. And honestly, any reason is valid just as long as you do join, you know?
Yeah, everybody has a different, like they say, host a journey. So
So, do y'all have any like favorite memory from HOSA so far?
Oh,
hmm.
I have so many. Okay. My first year going to SLC, Okay, so that year, I think it was like 2019 or something like that. Maybe 2019, 2020. It was like just before pandemic. Actually, it was the year before that, never mind. But it was like really interesting because I got to meet so much new people, so much like newer people. And I remember Mrs. Birch, our advisor, she was yelling at me because I didn't have like the right professional clothing on because I had like a navy blazer and like a black dress pant because I didn't really know how like all of that worked. And then that whole SLC, I was just meeting new people and learning how to like study, and I did place in top 10 in my competition the first time I was like in competing, which was like really amazing for me. And it was like it definitely excelled like my passion for healthcare and HOSA.
For me, I think it was this summer when we went to ILC in Dallas. That was definitely like a really, really fun experience. First of all, it was the first time traveling with school, and I really got to see HOSA on a much larger scale because the biggest
The
event I
network.
went to was SLC before that. But at ILC, I got to see it on like an international level, and I thought that was really cool. But over there, we got to see what be the matches, right? So
Mhm.
we got to see one of the donors meet with the donor family, like the donor meet with the family they donated to. So they got to meet for the first time on stage. And I thought that was like really, really, it was really emotional and it was super like cool to watch because it's almost you're seeing like what potential you like the potential you could bring into the world just by being in this career. So like it was like almost like the fruits of what we're doing right now. So I thought that was really cool, really inspiring. And yeah, I think I'll always remember that.
Yeah, I think that I didn't go to SLC, ILC, sorry. I'm thinking NLC for FBLA, but I didn't go to ILC this year. I signed up. I forgot to sign up for it. But I think when I saw like I did watch it like live through my computer, and when I did saw that, even though I wasn't there, I started like tearing up because I thought that was that's like one of the most beautiful things that you can do for someone
Mhm.
to help someone save their lives. And I think that's also one of the things that makes me love Hosom so much because it's like preparing you to do that. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the things I love about healthcare, that you get to basically save people. And I think
Mhm.
that's like one of the most amazing things.
HOSA is amazing, which it can like it teaches you how to save people, it teaches you medicine, it teaches you healthcare, but it then also like shows you like the like as she said, the fruits of what you're gonna do. Like you're going to be saving lives, you're gonna be contributing to like someone's like whole life, and you're gonna be a deciding factor. And that's just amazing to me, that amount of power.
Yeah, and I think that's really unique to the healthcare field because I don't know about any other health, like any field that really touches people's lives as much as we do. So I think that's like one of the coolest things about not just HOSA, but in healthcare in general.
So going into your hosted chapter, Lambert is one of the biggest chapters in the state, if not even the biggest in the state.
It's the biggest, yeah.
It's the biggest, yeah. Okay, so it's the biggest chapter in the state. And what do you think that your chapter does that makes it want to attract people or makes it like want people to come in?
I feel like it's just the energy, honestly. Like, okay, we can talk about how Lambert has like a lot of people with a lot of drive. Lambert has it's a very competitive community. It's a very like everyone knows like quote unquote knows what they want to do. But like everyone really doesn't, everyone's kind of like unorganized. Everyone is teenagers, you know what I'm saying? So like they're still going through that phase, but the amount of energy and like the community that Lambert has, like I'm sure you can like you're going to Georgia SLC, you see like you hear like random people chanting, you look over there and it's like Lambert. Like I remember standing on the chairs like screaming out to everyone. That was like a highlight of my life, honestly. Like it's so much fun and it just attracts so much people. They want to be a part of that, they want to like contribute to it.
Yeah, and I think he kind of nailed it. It's definitely the energy, and I think what Lambert Host is really good at is we try to bring you real world healthcare experiences, which is something that a lot of kids and that are interested in healthcare, which there's a lot of kids that are interested in healthcare in Lambert, they're looking for that all the time. So when we provide those opportunities, it just creates like a door for them to like come in and discover. And like it's not about knowing what you want to do. Like maybe if you're not interested in healthcare after joining HOSA, that's completely fine. But our mission is to give you the resources to explore and and like just see every corner of this field because it's really varying. So I think because we provide the opportunity, there's a lot of like attention towards us.
Yeah, feel like going into what y'all said, I feel like energy is one of the biggest things that like it's gonna like help you build your club in a much bigger like membership, I guess you can say. For us, we're in the South, so I think
Yeah.
our FFA, like our FFA chapter, is the biggest, one of the biggest in the whole state, if not the biggest, like I said. So I think with that is also the energy that they bring in, and our hosted chapter is very small. We had last year, I think we brought around like 5, 7 people to FLC, and then we brought to NLC. I'm sorry, SLC. We brought, I think, like 11 people, so it wasn't a lot of people. And I think seeing, especially for me, seeing how like y'all bring like what, like 100 people, and then or somewhere around those numbers, and bringing like other people, other schools bringing in so much more people, that it like, you're like thinking, why don't we have that? And why are we bringing 7 people while other people are bringing 20 and 30?
Honestly, like coming from a big chapter, I love the amount of members that we have, but like it's the experience that each member has that's really important. And the purpose of HOSA is to like shape and get like help develop each and every member. And even if you're bringing like 2 members to SLC, the amount of growth that they go through, it helps a lot. And they stand as people to like recruit new members the next year and the next year and the next year. I mean, like your school probably when did it start, HOSA? Sorry.
Oh, I honestly have no idea, but I know it hasn't been that. I don't think it's been that long ago.
Yeah. Like Lambert's been in HOSA for like 10 plus years. So I mean like it's just like built over time. And of course time will tell. But the only thing that we can control right now is how each member feels and like the quality of their experience in our chapter.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really something we're like harping on this year, especially even for our chapter. We are a big chapter, but we always want to focus on quality over quantity. So it doesn't matter if you have the most amount of members if your club isn't something worth being a part of. So it doesn't matter how many members you have as long as you're making it a quality experience.
yeah, and then I think that's what, like, with like us like being a small chapter, that's also one thing that we're trying to like work on. Like last year, like honest, like our meetings and stuff, they weren't like where you wouldn't want to go to them. I guess you could say they weren't like, they weren't. I don't know how to explain it without like saying it in a mean way, but like you wouldn't. They weren't
I mean it is let's talk
as
about HOSA. Come on.
huh?
Have no filter. I'm trying to hear everything.
But they weren't, I guess you can say, appealing to our host members. And we had, I think, 120 members last year
Oh
That's
wow.
great.
that signed up, but we only had 10 members that were going to the meetings.
We go through that issue too, actually. I mean,
We have like
we
the
have
same like if let's say we have
yeah.
500 members, we have the same 50 people coming to each event. But like that's also something we are very trying to like very hard trying to work on. And I feel like that's a problem every chapter has,
Oh
honestly.
yeah. I mean, people get caught up with school, other extracurriculars, and maybe host is not the first thing on their list, but we're just trying to show them why it should be like up there.
Yeah, which is why, like, that's what we're trying to trying to do, like bring it more out there, especially right now. Like we came up with the Jose this year came up with the idea of doing like a club rush. So
Mm.
that's happening
That's a
this
great
week.
idea.
So we're trying to make it look like fun. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like
I
in
just
a
think
way.
more appealing to people. And then I have a question for you. So like maybe there's something we can learn, maybe there's like a different perspective, but like what is your chapter doing to like increase the quality of each member? You know what I'm saying? Like make every member want to come, you know? Some things you're working on this.
Yeah, I think for right now, I feel like for Hosa, it's something that you have to experience. Like for like no matter how much I tell you how much I had at SLC, how much fun I had at FLC, you like it won't. It depends
You want
on
to
you.
experience it for yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to. It's like it's very specific. Like you have to experience it for yourself. Like you can go. I could have the time of my life at SLC, and you can be hating it. And
Yeah.
that's I think that's just what we're trying to do is right now we're like telling them about our experiences with HOSA, and we're basically leaving it to our student body to see if they want to come in and experience what we experience, or even if they don't like what we experience. It's just really kind of like it's a weird game to play, I guess you can say.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's true. Yeah.
definitely.
It's very like it's like half like I mean you want the more members, but then you want like more people coming and it's just like it's a lot of balance. And that's
It's yeah,
honestly
it's a lot of balancing. And if I could like give you a little suggestion, I think talking about your experience at SLC is like a fantastic way to go about it. But like maybe also try bringing those experiences to your school so they don't have to go to SLC to see, oh, host is worth it. they just got to come to maybe a social or a fundraiser or like a small event you guys are doing to show to see how great it is, you know? So bringing those experiences like that are more accessible is great, and that will also help them be like, okay, this is something I want to do, and they'll attend SLC, which is like, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's also one thing we're trying to work on, to making our socials and our like meetings a little bit more fun and a little bit more inclusive to everybody. So people feel like this is like we're an open-minded group. Because
Mhm.
that's the thing, one big thing, you don't want to be very close-minded with people, because then they're not gonna want to be around you.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so
Full quit counting.
are you still trying to pronounce it?
What is it? What is it?
Coquit.
Colquit?
Coquit.
Coquit?
It's
It's
coquit.
like
Is there an
Codquit.
L?
Yeah,
Is
No,
it
it's
it's no.
C-O-L?
It's
COL.
COLQ something. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
Coquit.
That's
COLQUITT.
Colquit. That's Colquit.
Coquit.
But you pronounce it coquit.
But I pronounce it
Is it
Colquit.
two L's or like one L?
One L.
Okay, well, that's over pronunciation. How far away is it from Forsyth, do you know?
Like 4 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad drive.
You get your Lambert merch? You should order it. We ordered Lambert merch a while ago, right?
Are you guys near Alabama or Florida? Like, are you guys in the middle? Like, where are you?
Us?
Mhm.
We're close. We're like, I think 45 minutes from Florida.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
wait, Avaneesh, what did you ask me?
Did you get your Lambert merch that you ordered?
Yeah, yeah. The one with Kevin's name on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did. I got it a while ago.
Oh wow. Yeah. I can't believe this last SLC.
Whose?
Last SLC in which like I met you. I was like felt like a
We
year ago.
met during SLC. Okay, we met during SLC, but we didn't like actually like talk to each other until
FBLA.
SLC for FBLA.
Yeah.
I thought that was crazy too. I was looking back at which going back into like, okay, so this is gonna bring up like my next question. But I think looking back into my videos and like all my video memories of SLC for Hosa, I saw videos of like Kevin was in one of my videos, Tarun was in another one of my videos. I had Neil in one, I had you in a picture, and then like I had a bunch of my friends that I'm with here like now that I met through FBLA SLC. I met like I thought it was crazy. I met y'all a week after,
Yeah.
and
But then
y'all,
we were like right near each other though for like a couple of days before, a week before, which is
yeah,
crazy.
I
Like
thought
the
it was
connection.
really weird. Yeah, because I met Kevin through y'all met Greer and Reese at
Yeah.
Starbucks.
Yeah. That we didn't sleep that night. We were like grinding FBLA and we met them there. And then it's so crazy that how they're like they go to your school, you know what I'm saying? It was just like
Yeah,
really
and
interesting.
then which we were just talking like when we were on our way over there, like we were talking about Lambert. I was like, oh, Lambert's about to bring a bunch of people, like they're smart, they're about to win everything. And like we were just talking about Lambert, and then I was in my room because I had to go get something. So they called me and Maria, they were like, Maria, guess what? And I was like, what? They were like, we just got met boys from Lambert, and now they're like our best friends. So I was just like, okay. And then we went down to a meeting, and then that's where I met Kevin and Moise.
Yeah. That was so funny.
And then I like a week, like not even a week, I think like 2 weeks after, like we all started talking and we created the Lambie Jits group chat. I was looking back at my SLC memories, and then I saw like the videos of Kevin, and we like now I feel like now it's crazy because me and Kevin are like one of the like best friends. I guess you can say he's one of my
Yeah.
best friends. And we were right beside each other, oh, like a few days before we even met.
That's like crazy. And I feel like I don't know, maybe your next question is about this, but like to relate it back to Hosa, like you get to learn like and to know so much people and gain so many perspectives, gain so many experiences. It's just invaluable what Hosa can bring to you in that sense as well. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, during my last SLC, I met like people from like Savannah and like, I don't know, all over Georgia. And like, they're people I would never meet like otherwise because like I don't go to that area. So like, that was really cool.
And like bringing it back to Hosa, that's where I'm gonna ask my next question. What has your experience been like with Hosa? Like even if it's a positive or a negative, like what has it been?
My, I would say my overall experience has been pretty positive. I mean, there's been times where I've gotten frustrated, and that's like normal. I've had experiences where like I've obviously like felt overwhelmed. But even those negative experiences worked towards helping me grow as a person and as a leader and my interpersonal skills. So yeah, even though like those negative experiences had a positive outcome, I'd say. So I'd say overall like positive. Yeah.
Yeah, and then for me, honestly, I've had like a generally positive experience, like actually a very positive experience. Like I feel like if you weigh it differently, like HOSA is for me, it was a lot of work, but I never saw that work as like actual like tedious things to do. It was like always I'm learning new things, I'm learning about new people, I'm connecting with new people because like this isn't a course, like it isn't school. I'm not learning about this. I'm trying to lead, I'm trying to develop myself. It's for myself. So like I viewed it that way, and for the past like 5 or 6 years, it's been amazing, honestly. The amount of people I've met and then the skills I've developed.
Yeah, for me also, I feel like it has been one of the best experience ever.
Mhm.
I've met so many like new people and so many new friends through HOSA, and I've made like friendships that I think are honestly gonna last a lifetime. And like you said, when I study and when I like study for my competitions and for everything, it's not like something that I hate doing because it's something that I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to. Like that
Yeah.
feeling, like being up on stage and winning, it's one of the best in the world. And I like it's like a reward.
Mhm. And then like
Honestly, yeah.
I remember just like studying like I'm a big procrastinator. That's something I'm privy to. That's something it hurts me a lot. But like for school, I'd be studying the night before. But for HOSA, for my first medical terminology competition, I found myself studying the textbook and finishing it like 2 months before the competition. And I was like surprised because like this is not how I normally function. I usually do it like the day of, the night before, things like that. And it's crazy. It's crazy how much HOSA can motivate you to like become a better person in that sense. And
Sorry.
now we just lost our podcast. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I have a similar experience actually. Like this past year, I did the research poster competition, and my the research topic I chose was have COVID-19 affected teachers' mental health. And honestly, the coolest thing about that competition, it wasn't like something I had to study or like practice for because I'm not doing that much. But it was like almost like it was like discovery, right? I got to like interview teachers, I got to send out surveys, I got to make connections with like school admin, I got to like talk to a bunch of people. And it felt more like a passion project than it was like an actual like school project. And like just compiling all of that and just really getting to talk to people that I see every day, like my teachers, I see them every day, but getting to see like a different side of them, like talk about their mental health when usually we talk about student mental health.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to see their side of that issue. And I think that really motivated me to like not only like talk to more people because I'm not I wouldn't say I'm an introvert, but I'm not like the first to like start talking to people. But that's like that really pushed me to start like making conversations with people I wouldn't usually make conversation with, and that's something that hopefully got like did for me.
Yeah, like relating to what you said, I usually am not the first person to like talk to like be like, oh hi everyone, like
Mhm.
introduce myself to people and try to make friends. But I think with like me now like being such a like open person and like now with Hosa, I feel like that's like helped me a lot trying to like be comfortable with myself and being able to like talk to new people and not be always like really shy and almost wanting to like cry because I'm just like there.
I can relate to that. I'm always like the first. I'm not. I won't say I'm the first to not talk, but I'm just like I take a while to warm up a little, but this like definitely helped me like connect to people and like quicker, like find something we both relate to, and that's just because I've been put in situations where I can practice that through HOSA. Yeah.
Believe it or not, I also, oh, we only have 10 minutes left. Okay. Believe it or not, I also was like very like shy in like middle school and things like that. I mean, like, I wasn't really shy. I still like to talk to people, but I'm not like who I am now. Like, for example, the Starbucks encounter, like, we were just like in the line and I was just like, oh, let's meet some new people. And we talked to like the random people behind us. We just turned around, we just talked about like our Starbucks order. And then somehow that turned into me being on a podcast talking about one of the greatest organizations of all time. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's just like the like connections and like the amount I've grown through HOSA for like talking wise and being extroverted is honestly like amazes me every single day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely something I can relate to.
I think a lot of people want to know what, especially like it was one of the questions I got on the polls. I asked on Instagram, like what questions do you want me to ask? Like, because I want to know what people want to know, right? So I think one of the biggest questions that I got told was, what does HOSA mean to you?
Rachna, you want to answer? You got it first.
Okay. What does HOSA mean to me? I think if I had to put in like one word, I'd say opportunity. Because I mean, if you look at any aspect of it, right, it's all about opportunity. Like if you look at our competitive events, last 2 years ago, I did community awareness. Like I learned how to, advocate for the causes I want to advocate for. And then this year I did research poster. I got to sit down with one of my teachers, one of our advisors actually, and he taught me how to like analyze interviews, how to set up survey questions. I got to talk to my AP Psych teacher. He told me how to set up an experiment. Like it's all about opportunity. Like because through those two competitions, I got the opportunity to learn just so much that I would not have learned just by myself. So and then when you go to like places like SLC and ILC, you meet like future doctors, future biomedical engineers, like people who are already in the field, EMTs. I went to an amazing workshop. These are all just opportunities to me to help me grow as a person, as a healthcare individual, and like even my interpersonal skills, my leadership skills. So yeah, I guess host is just like it's just this huge opportunity to help yourself grow in whatever way you want to grow. So if you like want to become more into healthcare, if you want to help like become more extroverted, like there's an opportunity for that in every single like facet of this club, and that's what it is to me. Yeah.
Dang, that was a beautiful response.
Thank
What
you.
HOSA means, what HOSA means to me. Okay, so if I had to pick one word, it would probably opportunity is an amazing one. The amount of opportunities HOSA provides you are like insane. But like to pick another one, I'd pick develop because like just for me as a person, like for me as an example, the amount that I've developed through this, like as I was saying, learning professional attire, learning medical terminology, like what does hysterectomy mean, like things like that, like the knowledge that I've developed about the healthcare industry and not just healthcare, just like learning how to pack, like simple things you need to become like an adult. That's something that HOSA can offer you. That's something HOSA helps develop each and every student towards. And I honestly feel so much better prepared in that sense as well. And also it develops your like leadership, for example, like me being a co-president this year, stepping up to lead one of the biggest chapter in Georgia. Honestly, it's been a challenge, but it's also been so much fun. Like one of the most fun experiences in my life because like I get to do things like this. I get to talk. I get to like speak my mind, which I love to do, honestly. But I get to speak my mind, and I learned how to enunciate better. I learned how to form my words better. I learned how to become a better speaker. And I feel like the way HOSA works is that whatever you want from HOSA, if you put the effort in, you will get it. Like our past president, she taught me a lot. Pollock, she wanted to become so much better at public speaking because she was a very shy person, like going into freshman year. She just graduated, and she's honestly now one of the best public speakers I have seen, and I believe that was through HOSA. Like whatever you want through HOSA, whatever your goal is, that's what HOSA can provide to you. It helps you develop and it helps like the community and the world develop.
Yeah. For me, I feel like HOSA, if I would put it into one word, and y'all said some like really good things. So like I was thinking about it while y'all were speaking. I think it's definitely a journey that you have to go through. Like you said it, like y'all said before, it has ups and downs, but every down and every up, like it's just I'm really bad at putting things together. Sorry, y'all. But it just makes me want to do what I want to do. Me wanting to be in the healthcare like field, it makes me like be happy that I get to have this experience, especially at a young age, and knowing that not everybody has the opportunities that we have is one of one of the biggest blessings, I guess I can say. Like especially with now Avaneesh, how we're starting the Mexico project.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that expired. It's sorry, I am
Inspiring.
inspired. Yes, thank you. Me to do it was that I know that nobody over there has anything like we do, and
Mhm.
to have a HOSA like the HOSA we have. So I think that was one of the biggest things that motivated me to be able to do that. Because like I would have never even thought about doing anything like that
Yeah.
if it wasn't for HOSA and the community that it has shown me to be.
Yeah, for sure. And like that's a big part of HOSA, which is just like representation. Like if I had to think about it, like the amount of people, the amount of students that have benefited through HOSA, and then to think about like the majority of students who like don't have never heard of Hosa, like I want to give it to them. I want to try my hardest to spread it to every single student in the country, in the world, because I want to help everyone. Like they're like they if they don't have this opportunity, it's worse for them. And I'm just trying to make the best out of my opportunity by representing everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel like being in Hosa, we have like we have a voice, and we
Yeah,
have, and I think that's one of like the biggest things that like motivate me to is to spread it, because like we're honestly blessed to be able to be doing like Hosa, like being able to have our healthcare classes, all of this at such a young age, and being prepared to go into the medical field. I
exactly.
think that's one of the biggest blessings, and it's one of the things that I would like love to spread all over the world.
Yeah. Like I feel like the amount of power in the voice that we have comes with like representation. We have to try our hardest to be our best representative of the people that can't really speak up for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think a lot of that has to do with like reaching out to not only people in school, but people outside of school, like minorities that don't have like, access to healthcare, or like, like just groups that you wouldn't usually think about, senior citizens, people like that that aren't usually reached out to. And I think that that's like the best part of HOSA. Like you get to reach those people through the voice that we have.
Yeah, with that, I feel like yeah, like one not is like not only is your student body an important factor, but it's also your home body and your parents and your cousins and the uncles. Everybody really is like what contributes to everything about HOSA.
Yeah.
Our time's about to end, so I'm about to stop this recording and then like get off and then hop on another one. Okay, coming back into our next question. What are you planning to do after HOSA and like kind of like after high school?
Good
Um,
question. I think like most kids, I'm a little like, I don't really know. But I guess I'm leaning a little bit towards not a like I'm leaning away from a traditional doctor, because I don't think I want to become like a traditional doctor, like a surgeon or something like that. I'm leaning towards more biomedical or that, but we'll see. I mean, my interest might change. I still got 2 years.
yeah. Well, my interests might change too, but I was like a little more set. When I want to become a neurosurgeon, and I really don't think I want to become a HOSA alumni as well. I really don't think HOSA would like leave me, or might as well I might just like grow a little bit apart from it. But I still want to become a HOSA alumni. I still want to be as involved as possible. It's helped me this much. But my plan is just to try to get into a good med school, try to get a good residency program, try to learn as much as possible, and then become a neurosurgeon and just like learn about the brain and do what I love.
Yeah, for me, I think as of right now, I think seeing how much HOSA has impacted me and into me being who I am like right now, I want to try and give it to other people that don't have the opportunities to do it.
Mhm.
So I think one of my biggest strengths is my connections. I have a lot of connections all over the place, especially with my family. So I think with me, I want to bring it to places that don't have it, like the UK, let's say. I know
Yeah.
they don't have HOSA. Mexico that we're working on right now. So I just want to make it bigger. And I kind of, that's what I want to do with HOSA and kind of like spread it.
No, that's great.
Yeah, I think that's amazing.
Um, is there anything y'all would change about HOSA and why, if there is?
Mm, something about Lambert hosting specifically, I don't know about this. This might be as well for all of Georgia, but people who think that they won't benefit from HOSA because they want to like maybe do like computer science or business or like arts or something like that, they think they won't benefit from HOSA. Or they think that HOSA is like too good. Like HOSA has like too much of a reputation. It's gonna be too much work. I personally believe like for both questions, like HOSA like is like what I said before. HOSA is what you put into it. Like whatever you want from it, you can get from it. So let's say you want to do computer science. I would still join HOSA, because you're trying out, you're learning your passions. Let's say like 20 years down the road, you're sitting at your desk coding something and you don't really enjoy it. This is not something you're doing that you love. Well, if you joined HOSA, if you joined like HOSA and tried out as many things as possible, which you should do as a teenager, is your life shouldn't be set in stone. Trying out that many things that can help you like find what is right for you. And also, if you don't find what's right for you, you can still develop yourself. You can still gain valuable communication and leadership skills because those are needed in every aspect of life, whether it's like drawing or like becoming a surgeon, as I was saying previously.
In terms of improvement, I think I'll definitely try making it more inclusive because this might be a case at just Lambert or chapters all over, but there's like a stigma that like people who are in HOSA like already have the opportunities. Like I think one of our advisors said this actually. She was like people who like my students are starting to think that HOSA is someplace like that for people that like already have the internships, already have the opportunities, already know what they want to do. So I think changing that image is something we need to start working on, make it more like this isn't some place for you to like come to like already have opportunities. Like it's not like that. It's not like it's like a high society or something.
Yeah.
It's some place you can come to like find those opportunities and grow as a person. So yeah, definitely changing that stigma and making it more inclusive and like accessible to everyone, no matter what level they are at. Like if they're fully ready to commit to healthcare or like just like moderate.
For sure.
Yeah, with that, sorry. With that, I think like something like y'all said, I want to kind of change like the perspective of it, like being that if you are in HOSA, your life is set in stone to be a doctor or
Yeah.
a nurse or something. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I would like to see, like that image of HOSA being changed. And I feel like with that, it starts in your chapter, your own personal chapter, and then it grows to everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think like even when you join HOSA and like maybe you're not completely interested in healthcare, there are other fields that like tie into that too. Like what biomedical at like biomedical debate, that can totally be something you can like take and become a lawyer with. Or we have like community awareness. That's a different path. We have research. Like there's so many things that are not like traditional healthcare. And I think that's really cool. And helps it make more be more inclusive.
And something that we do at HOSA in our school is we teach CPR through healthcare, and also we endorse it through HOSA, which is, I feel like it's a life-saving skill. Like you don't need to be interested in medicine to want to save someone's life. Like someone's having cardiac arrest or someone's heart has stopped. You need to learn like the correct procedures, what to do, how to perform CPR, because in that case, you could be the difference in saving a life. No matter your profession, no matter your interest, no matter anything, life is the most important thing, right? So like I feel like that's what hosting can provide.
Yeah, going into my next question, I feel like with HOSA, I've learned so much about myself and about like healthcare in general. And I feel now that I'm like an officer, like that's one of like I'm learning more every single day, and that's one of the things I love. And I just wanted to ask y'all, what motivated you to be an officer?
So something that very pushed me to become an officer. So my sister was an officer the year before, and of course, like I got the information from there. But like I've never really wanted to do exactly what my sister did. Like we have very different personalities, but of course, she's one of my inspirations. But to a certain point, I love what HOSA can do for you, and I wanted to be able to have that leadership capacity so that I could help people in Lambert. I could help the doe-eyed freshman who doesn't know what's happening. That was me before. I want to be in that position to be able to help them, grow them through HOSA. And I want to share my experiences because I feel like I've went through something like wonderful, like it was a miracle. And I want to share that feeling with every single person that can join.
So my like journey to become an officer is kind of somewhat untraditional. I was a member last year, and this year I like got to be co-president. So that was kind of like a 0 to 60 jump right there for me. So so like grab like managing that and like learning the ropes of becoming an officer has definitely been a challenge. And I'm starting to like realize more about myself, like what type of leader I am, because there's a lot of places I definitely got to improve in, like as a leader. But there's also places where I'm like noticing, like you're good at this, Rachna. Like you can definitely like use this skill of yours in the future. So but like being an officer, the reason why I did it is because, well, I like the club a lot as a member, and I saw where I could bring in my own strengths to help it grow even further. And I like the message of HOSA, and I thought this is the place where I think I can make the best impact on not just myself, but our community.
As Cameron Carter would say, it's an organization, not a club.
Sorry, organization.
So, with me, like me wanting to be an officer, I think, like I said, last year was my first actual year, like me actually being active in HOSA. And so it was an experience that I loved and that I wanted to share with other people. And so that what was kind of what like inspired me to be an officer for my school this year. And then also like all the benefits that I'm getting and all the, like the learning that I'm getting from it, it's like the leadership experiences that I'm getting it is like one of the best things that I feel like it's gonna prepare you, especially now as teenagers and soon to be adults. It's gonna
Yeah.
prepare you to go into the big world and go into like interviews and going into a job,
Most definitely.
honestly, everything.
Yeah.
I
It
can like
definitely
definitely see myself like the stuff that I'm learning right now as an officer, even if I don't end up in healthcare, like if I end up in some random field, I definitely see myself still using like the things I'm learning right now, like confidence, speaking, connections, like any of that. Like it helps in any field.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think this might have like two more questions.
Mhm.
So I feel like I want to know, but I know also, like Logan told me to ask. I know like when I was talking to my friends about like the podcast, it was one like, are any of y'all planning to run for state officers?
That is something I'm still thinking about. Yeah.
I'm thinking about it as well, you know. I really do love Lambert Hosa, and I'll have to decide whether I want to have that like responsibility to be able to represent all of Georgia, but it does sound very enticing. Are you interested? I feel like you told, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I am planning to run for state officers this year. I feel like with me, like what I want to bring to like Georgia Hosa and really Hosa in general is just like I said, build our community off of not trying to have the typical standard of, like what I said before of people like you have to be already your life set up so that you can be in Hosa. And
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite, like it's something off topic, but one of my favorite quotes that kind of inspired me to do it was when we were looking for like kind of like mottos to put in
Mhm.
our club rush poster and all of our club rush stuff. I was searching around, and I found one that said, "The hands of Hosa mold the healthcare of tomorrow."
Yeah.
We have
And
that quote like everywhere too.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I as soon as I read it, I was like, I feel like in me, it sparked like that type of fire in me where I like not only do I want to help my school, but I want to help all of Georgia Hosa. So that's one kind of like what inspired me to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great.
Um, hold up, my phone turned off. Sorry. So I think my last question is gonna have to be,
You're totally fine.
do y'all have any questions for me?
Um, how do you stay so passionate about
Yeah, you're like one of the most passionate people I've seen for Hosa. Like
yeah, it's like
what's the main drive there?
there's people that are like they're always like about Hosa, like they're trying to like better themselves, they're trying to like get better in their community, but you're always trying to spread Hosa, spread your message, spread your experience. And like what motivates you to do that, you know?
I think for me, like I said, like when I went into my first SLC, like it
Mhm.
wasn't even about like the party. It wasn't about like it was just like the community that Hosa I saw, then the
Mhm.
energy that I got from Hosa as soon as like I walked into those doors, like
Yeah,
that's like it hit me. Like this is like I've never felt so in touch with the club
yeah.
until I started being active in Hosa. And like I
Mhm.
regret not being active in it like years like before. I was like before last year. So I think that was one of my biggest things of like being so passionate about it is
Yeah.
that I want to have people to experience like the love I feel even if
Mhm.
it's not for Hosa but for another club. Like really
Yeah.
for anything, like that nervous feeling that I get, like just thinking about going in, like just thinking of standing outside those doors for SSC and that excitement is one of the best things in the world. And it's one of like, I want other people to feel it
Yeah.
too.
Exactly. It's such a unique experience. And I feel like exactly what you said, it encapsulates the message of Hosa, you know, like it is to spread it, it is to give those memories. And like Hosa is whatever it can be, you know, like whatever you think of it, like your imagination is your limit. You know what I'm saying? Like beyond all limits. I don't know. I'm just splurting out slogans right now, but like I feel it just makes a lot of sense. Your passion for Hosa.
Yeah. And I think it's great like what you're doing with it too. Like I've seen people like put in like just a little bit and they get a lot out of it, but you're putting in like everything and I hope you like
get
help
everything
out
out.
with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's like one of my things like with Hosa, like I said, like even with like I feel like I think one person asked me, I think it was Kevin, and when we started talking about the Mexico project, oh, which you don't know what, okay, so basically we're trying to start a Hosa in Mexico.
Oh,
So
great.
I was start a chapter where I was like from my local city because I was born and raised in Mexico and I came here when I was 7 years old. So
Oh, cool. Okay.
it's one of like the things that so like with that, I think Kevin asked me, I was like, why is it like, why are you wanting to do this? Like, why is your inspiration for it? And for me, like I don't even know what I like I was at NLC for FBLA and out of nowhere, I just got like the idea. I was like, wait, we're like how many other people have the same opportunities that we have? And then I started doing my research and I was like, there's not it's an international club, but there's so many more like people that don't have the same opportunities we have. And especially Mexico um being a country where it's like not I guess marketed like a well way because it's not people don't think of Mexico as being like a good country
Yeah.
ways. I think that I was like that was one of my biggest inspirations of doing it and like spreading like the word of Hosa and being able to help kids over there that want to be doctors or want to be something in a healthcare professional in their future life and give them the opportunity of starting to learn it at a young age. I think that's one of my biggest inspirations for doing everything that I do.
That like when I got that message from you on like Snapchat that day and I read it, I was like honestly in awe for a couple of minutes because the amount of passion and like the vision that you have to like be able to follow through and like you keep texting me about it. I'm so very interested. And what we could do here could honestly like it's bigger than just being an organization. It's bigger than like a club. It's bigger than being in medicine. It's helping other people become better and helping other people better their own situations, which is something I honestly completely agree with. And it like surmises everything that a
Yeah.
person should be.
Yeah, when like coming in with like that, with when I was coming up with the idea, we were literally on our way back to our town to Coquit
Yeah.
from Atlanta, and I called my grandpa and I was like, I sent out told him what it was. I told him what it because my grandpa I know has a lot of connections in our town. So I like told, are you willing to help build this? And he was like, send me a presentation and I will send it out to every school that I can, and I will get this happening. So I was like,
Just like you.
yeah, we both like to accomplish things. But when I was thinking about it, I was like, I can't do this all by myself. Like
Mm.
it's impossible. So I was like, I need to have people that I know are so like I know that are gonna be 100% for it, and that it's people that I already know and I have talked to. And so with that, there was Kevin, and he was the first person I texted about. He was 100% down. And after hearing like the first sentence of me just saying, "Do you want to start a host in Mexico and help people?" He was, "I'm down. Let's go. Let's do it." So then I was talking with Kevin, and I was like, "Hold up. I know Avaneesh is passionate about Hosa. I don't know how passionate he is, but I know he likes it, and I feel like he would be a great fit for this." So I texted Kevin, me and Kevin talked a bit. He was like, and he was down with you being in it too. So that's why I texted you. And then came and played Neil, where I know Neil's like president-elect, and I was like, he can really help us a lot, like with connections to everything. And even that he's a really good friend of mine. So I was like, I know these two people, all three of them go to the same school, and it's easier for me to, let's say, have a Zoom meeting with y'all
Yeah.
than having to bring someone over here from in here and like planning times. Like it's easier for me like that way
Yeah.
for them to be in the same place. I was like, these are the people that are gonna help and that I want me to help, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like I feel like the way this was started and even the podcast and everything, it's like networking. It's the message of Hosa itself, like what we were talking about like before and like all of our conversations. Like you from like 4 hours away, someone I might have not met ever in my life. I met at a Hosa conference and we talked about Hosa. We were like in each other's presence for such a long time. And then you met other people as well, like Neil, Kevin, Moyes, even, like you're learning so much new things from them. And from that connection, we began to have the opportunity to help more people, which honestly is like, it's insane how amazing it is.
Yeah, with that, I was like, so he wasn't, you were the second person I met from Lambert that
Mhm.
I became friends with. The first person I ever met was Badant.
Oh yeah, Vidant Nike. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first person I ever met. And we just like became friends from FLC. And it was because we made a TikTok just going around. You know how that trend was going about asking people like what school they're from, like, all that.
Yeah.
So we were making it, and like that's how I met, and that how I got introduced to being like more open with people, and how I got introduced to Lambert. So with
Yeah.
that, we went into SLC, and I was just wondering, is Badant here? Like, so I like texted him on TikTok. I was like, "Are you here?" He was like, "Yeah." I'm like, he told me his floor, but I never went to look for him. And then that night, that day of closing ceremony, when we
Yeah.
were leaving after achieve like awards, I
Mhm.
was like, we had our little doll, our Hosa doll,
Yeah,
Susie,
yeah, yeah.
and I was
Oh
like,
yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, do you want to take a picture with Susie? And then that's how like we started like how
Mhm.
me and you first like met.
Mhm.
And then I was like, wait, what school are you from? And then you told me
Asked me
Lambert.
Lambert, and you were like going crazy. You were like, oh,
I was like,
no.
oh wait. I was like, wait, this is how I can find it out. I was like, wait, and I turned to my friend and I was like, wait, I think he might know who I'm looking for. And then you just out of nowhere, you're just like, are you talking about Badal? And I was like, yeah, how did you know? Like you
Yeah.
just knew.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I heard it before, but it was just like it was insane. It was
Yeah,
great.
but I think that's one of the things that I love so much about Hosa also is that it brings you so many friendships and so many like I guess like you can say like lifelong friendships that you're gonna have for the rest of your life, and that it's gonna connections that aren't just like for forced connections, but it's like you want to be friends
Genuine
with these
connection.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a friendly connection. It's a connection that you're gonna have like want to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like even if there aren't like lifelong friendships that you get from it, like for me, it was like that small interaction, like talking to someone in the line for my competition, or like standing in the Starbucks line and talking to like another like person from Hosa. Like maybe those won't turn into lifelong friendships, but they're definitely conversations that I'll always remember. And even if I'll never see them again or never talk to them again, like I'll always just remember them and like keep them in mind. So
Exactly. It's like you get to meet so much people with different
yeah,
perspectives, builds your own
it's the
perspective.
perspective that really like does it for me.
Mhm.
It's just like I said from the beginning, it's the community and the love and the energy that you get from people that are in Hosa, and that makes you want to come back, makes you want to be active in the club, and makes you want to make a difference.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so with that being said, I think that's everything, unless you have any more questions.
That was amazing. Thank you
Yeah, that
so
was a
much
great conversation. I like that.
for having us on this.
Yeah, and I wish you luck with all your other episodes. That's turning
Thank
out really
you.
good. You're really good at this.
Thank
I was
you.
just like for Hosa Mexico plug. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
shutting it down now.
I'll be looking forward to that.
Talking about that, I got an update. They start school
Mhm.
next week, so they're gonna start talking to kids, and then with that, we should be starting off with meetings as soon as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
That
And then
sounds great. Yeah.
did Neil get back to you about the chartered organization? Okay, we can talk about this a little off camera probably.
Yeah, we can talk about this in a second. But with that being said, thank you all for joining in, and thank you both of y'all for being our first ever members to come on,
Our pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yep, it was so fun.
and we can't wait to see y'all on the next one. Bye, everyone.
Bye.